So imagine you're going to Dragon Con and you happen to go to the website and you look at the countdown and you see that it's 2 weeks away. And you think to yourself, don't. Oh, hello. Don't I have a cosplay to make? Hopefully you're just imagining it and not relating to it because guess what? Yeah, that was me. I started on a full armor cosplay and I got it done 2 weeks before Dragon Con. Hi, I'm Nopalita and I've been making cosplays for a very long time. So in other words, your girl is a cosplay wizard. No, I'm actually just a full-time student, so in other words, I am professionally unemployed. So this project became my full-time job for 2 weeks. I think I sunk about 8 hours a day into this project. And on top of that, I got sick halfway through the project, so in other words, a week before Dragon Con, I was miserable. It was awful. So I have no idea how this cosplay even exists. Cosplay wizard. Anyway, I've made some armor pieces in the past here and there, including a chest plate or breastplate, whatever you want to call it, but I've never made a full armor set. And what better way to start than 2 weeks before a con? You will see me make some mistakes, but that's okay, that is how we learn. And I will share some solutions on how to fix those mistakes. So I absolutely love you see what I did there? I absolutely love Wonder Woman, and I've always wanted to cosplay her, but the moment that I saw this design, I knew I had to make this. And this design actually got me into reading the book, which in turn got me back into reading comics again. But anyway, you're not here to hear me ramble. You're here to see me make this cosplay in just 2 weeks. Or about 15 minutes, if only time worked that way. This will be part 1 of 2 of how I made this cosplay. Part 1 is going to cover all of the armor, the outfits, and accessories themselves. Part 2 will be dedicated to just the sword. Alright, let's jump right in. I first started with the shin guards. This was a matter of sketching and cutting a shape that fit around my calves. This doesn't have a back panel piece, which I knew I should have made, so we're already off to a great start. But hey, learn from my mistakes. I used straps instead, which don't look as good and cause problems, which we'll get to later. And on top of that, I don't know why I just freehanded this. I should have done the plastic wrap and duct tape method. Anyway, I made some details. Even printing this out to scale instead of drawing it. Bruh. I used the plastic wrap and duct tape method to sketch out the bottom portion of the shin guards, which I copied to paper. And extended the top so that the pieces can overlap when I glue them together later on. I sketched out the tiara myself. However, the pauldron, hip armor, and bracer were all patterns that I got online, which I will have linked below. This really makes things 10 times easier, and therefore I can move on to copying the patterns onto my foam. I have this large sheet of 6mm foam that I just used for the shin guards and the hip armor, 2mm foam for the tiara, 5 and 10mm foam for the pauldron, which is what the pattern called for, and I believe I used 2 and 4mm foam for the bracer. You don't need all of these different sizes, I just happen to have a lot of them on hand. Make sure that you continuously sharpen your knife during this process, it just makes everything easier. I used contact cement to glue everything together. I also, of course, used proper PPE and ventilation because you do not want to get sick from this. Trust me, I was once a young, dumb, naive cosplay baby and I have passed out from the fumes. It's not fun. I used my wood burning tool to burn some lines on the backside of these pieces of the shin guards. This will essentially melt the foam so that when you push and bend it into shape, you get this cool 3-dimensional effect. Just make sure you work quickly before the foam cools down, otherwise you'll have to burn it again, which may risk burning a hole to the front side. I glued the tiara to some poster board, which will help keep its curved shape. And then I take lots of time to sand down the seams and edges. I heat shape the armor. You can use your stovetop or a heat gun. I find the stovetop to be the safest and easiest method. I rarely use my heat gun nowadays. I use some masking tape to help keep the shape in place as it cools down. I patched the gaps in the seams with Quick Seal, and with this step, I knew I had to do this after applying heat because it also risks opening those seams. You just have to be careful if you choose to heat seal at the very end. Using my wood burner, I created scratches and marks for battle damage. And then it's finally time to prime everything. I used Plasti Dip and sprayed 3 coats. Here, I'm just using some masking tape to get rid of any fuzzies from the Plasti Dip, lint, cat hair, etc. before painting with metallic black. I'm not the best at painting technique and I'm still learning, but I used some silver metallic paint to highlight the scratches and edges. The tiara gets hand painted as well with metallic silver paint, and then all of the armor pieces get sealed with satin spray varnish. Now it's time for the attachments. These are alligator clips that I'm securing with super glue. I used this leather fabric to create several strips, which I hemmed and attached Velcro to, and then I glue them to all of the armor pieces. So at the very beginning, I mentioned using straps instead of a back panel piece for the leg armor, and I'll get into it with a visual. First of all, if you're gonna use straps, I recommend using elastic. It's gonna hold better. Bulma, I have to put you down. You see this? I had to put Velcro inside of the leg armor and adhere it to the bodysuit, just so it wouldn't slip and slide, because that's what's gonna happen. This just kept sliding around and it basically busted open. Not good. I personally recommend making this wrap around your leg completely, or if you choose to do what I did, use elastic. I personally don't like the way this looks. It would have looked better if this was fully wrapped around my arm, where I could just slip my hand through and just put it on that way instead of relying on these straps. I just want to point that out in case you do what I do. Just create a full bracer. Don't half-ass it quite literally like I did. Diana wears a harness underneath her breastplate, which serves a functional purpose in the comic, but I used it as a way to hold up the pauldron. I took my measurements and created this using the leather straps, a small belt as a decorative piece, and elastic. There are 2 ways to approach making a breastplate. You can use a pattern or do what I did and make your own using the plastic wrap and duct tape method. As you can see here, there aren't any details, so that will come later. This is just the base right now. I first cut down the middle and work with one side since this will be mirrored. Then I lay it as flat as possible and I cut just before it starts to bend and curve. Then I cut out the booby cups before I realized I forgot to add registration marks before making all of those cuts. This is super important so that all of your pieces line up properly and curve and bend where they're supposed to. And of course, make sure to label all of your pieces. I copied this to 5mm foam, and I wish I had used 3 or 4mm foam since I later layer this with 2mm foam on top of it, so it's a bit thick, but it's fine. Just keep that in mind when you do this, because if you want a more contoured comic book armor look, that's gonna help make those drastic shapes. I'm going more for Sherman's artwork where the breastplate sits on top of the chest in a slightly more realistic way. I also make sure to mirror my pieces and label them properly. And then I cut them all out. I also remembered this time to heat shape right before gluing, and I do this to just the cups. So here's a quick tip for contact cement. Make sure you use thin layers and make sure you let it dry for 20 minutes. This is the key to keeping those seams strong and crisp and nearly seamless. If you find that it does split, just add a little bit more contact cement or super glue to close the gap. I glued the cups together, then the rest of the breastplate before I joined them together. I used non-stick parchment paper to separate the cup so that it doesn't accidentally join together in the wrong places. And then I joined both halves together. Now it's time for the details. I don't know if it's because I used painter's tape instead of masking tape, but removing this was so tedious. It kept breaking off, and I probably should have drawn the details on the original breastplate pattern when I had it on my body, but oh well, it ended up working out. So I am copying the patterns and adding an extra seam to the tops. This is similar to what I did before with the shin guards, since I want it to overlap, and then I just glue for what felt like a lifetime. So for this design, I didn't reference Sherman's artwork. I wish I did, because I feel like it distinguishes her from her mainline counterparts. You know, it looks rough and jagged like it's supposed to because, you know, she was raised in hell, but I used this other artwork instead. I just wanted to point that out in case you were wondering why I did that. I just thought it looked better at first, but now I'm like, damn, I should have went with the original art design. Then it's finally time for the W. I used 5mm foam for this piece, and I cut the breastplate down just a bit, and then I adhered the W. I sand the edges down. I heat seal it a bit, remove the fuzzies, lint, etc. And I patch a small split that's in the center. I use my wood burner for the line detail in the W, and I also add some battle damage. I decided to make a corset backing, so I used rivets to create some indents, cut the holes out, and glue the rivets into place. Once again, I prime with 3 coats of Plasti Dip. I used Krylon silver spray paint to paint the W, which by the way was awful. It made it super grainy, so I ended up painting it over by hand with acrylics. I did a mixture of hand painting and airbrushing the red. I used a satin spray varnish, what the fuck? I used a satin spray varnish. I used a satin spray varnish to seal and inserted this beautiful red cording, which was annoying, by the way, to lace up. I'm sure satin lacing is the move, but whatever, it looks good. Ignore the inside, good lord. Diana wears a red bodysuit underneath her armor, and there are 2 ways to go about this. First, you can make a bodysuit, of course, but I opted for a top and high-waisted leggings because I personally find it easier to make. I copied the pattern of this top that I have and made it a little longer. I sewed it together and tried it on, and it was way too tight because this fabric is not 4-way stretch fabric. But I persisted and made the sleeve using a tutorial I linked below, which by the way was perfect, and I was just so upset I couldn't use this fabric. You can clearly see just how tighter it is on me right after I had put it on with the sleeve. I knew I couldn't make the leggings out of this, but it's okay because I very coincidentally have this red morph suit just hanging out in my cosplay stash, you know, as cosplayers do. Yeah, so this is the second method. Man, I hate morph suits. The spandex is just low quality. I mean, seriously, this thing gave me body dysmorphia. It's what I had at home, and I didn't want to spend more money because I have no more money. Remember, I'm a college student. I altered it by cutting off part of the top along with one sleeve. Hemming this was so difficult. I mean, seriously, this fabric is terrible quality. The skirt is made using this faux stretchy leather fabric from my stash, and I sort of just draped the shape that I wanted onto my body. This process is just a matter of cutting it out until it looks right. Then I made an additional panel that will go right on top. I just fold the fabric and sew very close to the edge, and that's how I get these sort of pleats, which I then top stitch flat. Here it is right on top of the skirt, and then I just sew some elastic in, and finally I cut the details into the fabric. The wraps are made using the same faux stretch leather. I cut several strips out and I just sew the ends together. Here I am tidying everything up, and here I'm making the elastic that will go around my thumb. I wrap my hand and I mark where I want the Velcro to go. I sew it on and it's done. I think printing this out of tattoo paper or making a sleeve with the design painted onto it would have been easier, but I instead went for body paint. This is water activated and it's super opaque, and it comes off easily with soap and water, and it doesn't stain at all. However, be careful, especially if you sweat a lot. I avoided this underneath my arm because I knew it would rub off. I mean, just look at the inside of my arm here. This is what will happen with the slightest bit of moisture. So I used a setting spray and a loose powder to set my body paint. and you can actually still see some of the color from the body paint, but this will help keep it in place. And that is it for the tutorial. Thank you so much for watching if you watched until the very end. Again, stay tuned for part 2 where I go over on how I made the sword. Follow me on Instagram, I post pretty pictures and that's the place where I'm most active. Barely, because I'm in school. School is kicking my ass right now. Bye!